great lecture, it took us 8 hours to do 5 hours, 7 hours to do 5 hours. And several things, I bit my tongue, I got extremely sleepy, and I realized that there were some forces that was working against us not to make this documentary. And it was working against us because the simple fact that they understood that the last mystery here is actually the first mystery. And the first mystery is that the earth started from two primordial beings, both male and female. You see what I'm saying? When we talk about the earth, we know we have the original great mother, but when we're talking about the inception of the world that we know now is coming from two primordial beings. So it stands to reason to know that if the government understands that their reign is only for a short period of time, that and at this particular time, we're talking about the earth itself, of the coming of the new hereafter, or the day would be with us in these mystical days that all religions, all spiritual systems talk about, then we would understand at this particular time that in order for this to jump off, there has to be a return of the divine feminine, but also the return of the Isis and Osiris realm of the union between male and female. In this particular case, the original males and females. So we are the ones, black folks on this planet, are the ones that ultimately have to set the stage to go to the next level. Not a Johnny come lately. Here you gonna these white folks write all these books about the hereafter and what's gonna be, and they just got on the planet yesterday. You see what I'm saying? You know, just got on the planet yesterday. It has to be done by us. And that is why the disparity and the disproportion when it comes to both male and female hooking up in this particular country right here, the disparity, the imbalance, disproportion has to do with the black man and the black woman. We're talking about at least 11 to 14 million black women. Or let's say about, I'm going to get this right now. I'm going to get this right. About 10 million black women who can't even find nobody. We got internet full of babes or women that are beautiful. They can't find nobody. And I'm glad that the great goddess Babylonia swept me up, because I would be preoccupied 24 hours a day trying to please some of these sisters, because somebody had to do it. So many of them, so little time. And I was on a mission. Before I was rescued and stuff, I had rebooted up and got myself, reanimated to go on another odyssey. And the spirit was like, no, you already went on your odyssey. It's time for you to go to the upper room and leave that to the other ones out here. So I was rescued in so many words. And we're going to go into the science of that today. But, we're not talking about stragglers, you see what I'm saying, or hags, or whatever. We talking about real deal women, not no dizzy horses, not no dizzy horses and stuff like this. We talking about real deal sisters who can't get nobody. They had an alpha convention in Atlanta in 2000, and I'm talking about some of the baddest babes on the planet out there can't get nobody. You see what I'm saying? Number one, they need to lower their standards. That's one thing. The brother on the bicycle might be your knight in shining armor. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? We'll deal with that on down when we get deep into this particular thing. But what we're trying to say here, and I got a proto libation so we can get the energy up, and also we can get through this and all, which will be about an hour, but the tape will be about 4 or 5 hours. We got 6 hours worth of tape, so we're going to get through this within about a 2 hour period. But it will be 6 hours on the tape because the spirit world will make it feel like that if the people understand what's going on. But anyway, we're doing part 2 of this Mysteries of Babylonia. To start off, we show several pictures. If you notice up here, up top here is me and my queen and stuff and all. I don't think I look as hot on the picture and stuff, but she compliments me pretty well and stuff like that and all, And Make no bones about it now. She's, I like for guys to pull up on her. She comes, she said, that guy there pull up on me. So I'm different than, hey, man, you talking to my woman. I feel it's a compliment when you got a woman and guys pull up on you and stuff like that. So she said, this guy just tried to buy me a drink. And I said, well, you should have let him buy you a drink. She said, no, I didn't get in there. I said, well, hell, you could have let him buy us a drink. Shit. So I'm different and stuff. I don't feel threatened by that. You know what I'm saying? When people try to pull up on your woman and all, I think that's a compliment. What about if you didn't have a woman motherfuckers didn't want to pull up on? That's a whole nother thing. So anyway, this is for the people who didn't get a chance to see her in the last tape, because the last tape I did, I hadn't even had sex with her at the particular time. And to give you a report and all, because she hadn't moved into the crib or moved down to Atlanta at the particular time. But we dedicated the tape to Linda Babylonia, which we still do, today. But this is in retrospect now, because we're talking about what has happened at this particular time after the first tape, which she's moved down, settled in, moved in the house, start throwing away half your shit. Can't ever find nothing. You know what I'm saying? Doing their rendition of cleaning house, and making the stuff look like a woman lives there. You know what I'm saying? And all. So it's interesting, because I said, baby, I cleaned up real good, so when you move down, the house going to be spotless. And so she moved down, and after she moved down into this spotless house, and so we came in on that Tuesday, because I did the romantic thing. I went up to D.C. to rescue her. So we did the romantic thing. I flew up to D.C. and got her and all. Like, your man came to get you. It's like the movie Officer and a Gentleman, when he breaks up into he goes up into the damn factory and pick her ass up and all, and walk out the front door with her and shit. So we did one of these kind of rescue things. So when she got back home, I said, well, I cleaned up the house and all and stuff like that. So that morning she got up and she started cleaning. And cleaned for fucking 2 weeks. So I guess a man's level of cleanliness is different. And I realized what it is. We will sweep around the couch. We will sweep around the bed. They sweep up under it. Right. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is the key, because they like to throw out shit. And they like to throw out stuff and all, And I'm constantly saying, did you throw that out? And stuff. And basically she doesn't, but still, she cleans house. So in so many words, that had to happen. And we'll go into some deeper mysteries, even on down from the social to the sexual and the aspect and all, to understand what is going on there. So that's the sister. As you know, we have the goddess Venus, which we're dealing with at this particular time. We'll go deeper into these particular mysteries with the goddess Venus, which we're dealing with. And this particular sister here, again, is called the African Venus by Charles Henry Joseph, who is the guy who actually, the sculptor who did this. He's a French sculptor, and he did these particular these sculptures somewhere between the early 1800s or the mid 1800s. This is he was born in 1827, died in 1905, but he did this particular piece in 1851. So you say that's the mid 1800s, and he did this one, I think, in 1848, which is a Sudanese king. So we say that he went to the Sudan to sculpture the king, and he got a glimpse of this beauty, which we come to find out is Ethiopian. Which we found out is Ethiopian. He got a glimpse of this beauty and went back 4 years later to sculpture her and named her African Venus. And once he did that, that put her in another realm. So this is a woman we're looking at here, and all the women look and say, she has real nice breasts. You know what I'm saying? Little munchy nuggets and stuff. So when they look at it and all, and it captures the locks, which was a debate whether locks even originated in Africa. They had a debate at Morehouse College in 1990. Was saying, was it mainly a Caribbean thing or was it mainly an African thing? And they said, well, we know of little boys in Hemmitt wearing locks, but they cut them off at age 12 or something. But we see now this is a full-grown woman, and she ain't about to be no little boy. But the key here is they have captured the locks. So there's a historical piece. And like I said, I went to the Baltimore Museum, Walter's Art Museum, and there was a little brochure. And when I walked in the door, I was buying the ticket for the Eternal Egyptian British Museum exhibit on ancient Kemet. And there was a little brochure, and it said, "Come over and get me." And I went and got her and opened it up, and she was in there. And we found her and was able to rescue her and rescue the brother. And apparently there's 10 of these things. I'm coming to find now recently, and now, so we're going to have to try to locate those types of things. But this African Venus, since she's been coming into people's lives, she's basically been changing people's lives. The energy and stuff, she communicates with people and stuff like this one and all. I already got this one sold before we get out of here today. Anyway, so you can also contact me. The number will be at the address will be at the end of the tape if you want to get some of these types of these pictures, these prints. You could get some of these prints and adorn your home, especially her at this particular time, because it's the goddess Venus. We just went through what is called a Venus transient period, which is a period of the return of the goddess. We're going to go deeper into that tonight. That's why this Mistress of Love and Sex, you having sex now in 2004 on into whenever is going to be different than you having sex or you dealing with love years past, because there's a realm called the return of the Shakti power, return of Lucius, the return of the divine feminine. In Kemet, it's called the return of the second Aru, which is this in Moorish Grail mythology, it's called the return of Mabinogion. And it's this realm of the goddess. So what we do now based on opening up our heart chakras and what we do now based on the sexual aspect and all is all based on prosperity and what we will deal with at this particular time. All based on prosperity, what's going on. And so basically, and my prosperity came about with Sister Babylonia, because the simple fact is, people started to show up that I hadn't seen in months and in weeks, and then making excuses to come over for the simple fact that they got a whiff of the sister's energy, and they wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be a part of that and all. And then all of a sudden, people who normally don't speak to you like Koreans, all of a sudden striking up conversations when you go in the store. Hey, yeah, you got a pretty woman, and it's, and East Indians, you never heard them say shit to nobody. Right. One East Indian guy came in and broke down the whole history of India to us and his family. And all of this type stuff and all, and it was based on this energy, but it's the Venus energy, which we'll get back into when we go into this particular aspect, and the gods that line up under the Venus energy also. So we're going to get into that particular aspect, which is fitting because we also are dealing with the Venus is Erzuli in Voodoo, which is Dahomey, Africa, you say Central Africa, and even West Africa. Erzuli is Venus is also, we found out with doing a little careful research, she's more Yemenia than Oshun. In careful research, in Yoruba, the Venus also represents Venus in Rome, Aphrodite in Greece, which is all black, Inanna in Samaria, Ishtar in Babylonia, Lakshmi and Pravati in East India, and Het Heru or Maya in some aspects, but Het Heru or Hathor in Kemet or Egypt. And so this is a picture of the Temple of Dendera. You notice when I take from the Dogon on in, I started from the Temple of Dendera, which basically became the central building of most of Western civilization. You will find temples like this that you would think is normally European. This is the model in which it came from. As you know, the famous calendar of Dendera shows the whole universe, which goes back down to one universal great mother in the middle of it. That calendar of Dendera that the French blew up and took to the Louvre in Paris That temple is this calendar was up in the ceiling of Dendera. So this is the temple of Het-Heru or Hathor at Dendera, which is fitting because this also has to do with the goddess Venus, because the Egyptian Venus is also Hathor. So there's a book called Hathor Rising. There's a book called Hathor Rising. That's a book that you also need to get. That's dealing with this type of aspect. We also have right here at the front of the table, the goddess of love that deals with love is the Palo, which is the Congo rites. I had Erzuli up the last time. This time we put up Madre de Agua. And Madre de Agua, which is also mother of the water, or Mami Wata in Voodoo, which Mami Wata is also Olokun in Yoruba. And Madre de Agua, mother of the water, is also the mistress of great love and strong love. So we put a shout out to her at this particular time to get the energy right. And so all of this type of things is actually going on. This particular temple, there was a priestess of Hathor, Het-Heru, at an Egyptian exhibit in that came through Atlanta from March to September the 19th. And in there they had this sarcophagus of this priestess of Het-Heru or Hathor. And they had a doorway that was a part of this magical, that had something to do with the priest and this magical aspect of her dealings with Het-Heru. And they said, you look in the doorway, and they said, well, the door is walled up. That meant that it was not made for you to go through physically, but to go through astrally, mentally. And so we looked through the door. I started cleaning out after and different things started happening, and the two sisters started discharging. We're going to get into the whole discharge thing, because this is not a negative aspect. It's just that the sacred water started flowing, which is called collars. Which is called collars and stuff. And we got to start to untap those goddesses and stuff and untap the gate. And we're going to teach people how to make the sacred waters start to flow today. And all, as far as so you'll know what to deal with when you go into those particular, when you tap into that energy. But anyway, certain things started happening, romantic wise, prosperity wise, and all. So this particular temple of Dendera, they told me to go and resurrect this again, which is the Napoleon artist did a rendition of it. And if you stare into the doorway, prosperity, love, and all those types of things also comes back into your realm. So that's a particular aspect. Now this is very interesting, and you can get a close up on this. And what's the sister name? Chink. Okay, now this is the sister Chink. As you see, she has on the red that is fitting right now, because we got some ring dings up on there for offering for this is the goddess Babylonia. We also got some cherry snacks, fruit snacks that we by Nabisco. So he said, "What are you buying all that kind of stuff?" But I know what my woman eats. And also that's fitting and stuff. You check your woman out, which is the representative of God on earth and stuff like that and all. And she's one, but it's amazing because she has a flawless and perfect body. And she's the only person. She said, you can't do like me. I'm poison ivy, just like the sister in that Uma Thurman played in Batman. She said, you can't do like me and all, because I can eat certain things and it don't affect me. So she was chasing down ice cream with birthday cake and Pepsi Cola when she started when she first came and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'll be dead fucking with you. But she has that kind of powerful energy of the goddess of love also. And the goddess of love also and all. And all the only thing happened to her is she just got fine and all, you know what I'm saying, and all, And so so that type of thing happened. But it's interesting because we got all this red stuff, the red candle and all, and that's the whole Babylonia, the Babylon, the beast, which is the root chakra, which we'll go into and all. But this sister here, Chink, has on the red. You could actually zoom in that good? That's a good camera there. That's one of them $5,000 jimmies. And all. And so now, the reason why I got this up, because this is actually good, because the simple fact, her beau, or her mate, or her honey bunches of oats is a brother that I went to college with.
That's business right there too.
Huh?
Progressive Unlimited.
Yeah, this is their business, Progressive Unlimited, for you people that will be coming to Harlem and in the New York area. That's 14th East, 125th Street, between 5th and Madison Avenue. In Harlem and stuff, they have a store that sells all types of handcrafted jewelry, art oils, clothing bags, books, poetry readings, and they do poetry readings, hair locking, the whole cultural thing. And stuff, and this sister's holding down the fort along with the brother that went to Matt Walker that went to. You got an African name, or there you still go by Matt? Okay, good. Like I still go by Bobby and stuff. And that's so brother Matt Walker, which is interesting here, was when we was at Benedict and when we was at Benedict, and this is an interesting story. I'll tell you this particular story, how we got a connection, how we have a connection. This brother here is one that comes all the way back. It was in college with me, with college with me. You don't mind I'm panning a camera and seeing the yeah, see the brother, like that. No, you see, and he was in school with me, you see what I'm saying,
yeah. What's up, Matt?
And this brother has a deeper spiritual connection down there in them Sea Islands and Beaufort and all that type of stuff. And there's a whole other connection that's going on with him, with his ancestors and all this type of stuff is things of legend and parents and all this type of thing here. So he has that type of connection, holding up that whole the Sea Island thing and the whole Beaufort and the whole thing, and all this type of thing. That's that's got that whole connection with the Gullah. And all of this type of thing. So this is interesting. So he started dropping by in the 90s when I realized he was up here, and we kept a connection. But all the time, this time he felt compelled when he came up this time to talk about his sister, and I was like, oh man, that's great. That's great. And she happened to break up in the place, and then short fucking time stopped. I'm like, oh shit! I see why you talking about your sister. You know what I'm saying? So she broke up in the place and changed the whole atmosphere. And I said, okay, you dealing on the same kind of vibe that I'm dealing on, but this is the particular homecoming for the simple fact is this. This brother here, we came from a whole other era of Morris Day and time, the glamorous life. And all of this stuff here and down when we went to Benedict College in Columbia. Now this is interesting. This brother pledged KA Psi, which colors is red, Kappa. And my oldest brother, which is a year older than me, is the brother that's a Kappa, as well as the brother who did the functionary book. And the functionary book, Dr. Blind. Now it's interesting here. I was getting ready to get online when you was a freshman. I was a junior. And I was getting ready to get online to go pledge Kappa, but what happened was crazy ass Ponder changed the pledge period from 6 weeks to 6 months. Which was supposed to be like the old school thing, but my brother was like, no. I said, well, no, you don't supposed to do it 1 day out of the week. My brother said, no, that's bullshit. You're going to pledge every day, big brother tell your ass to pledge. So this brother here went through the 6 months, Jimmy. Pledged what? 6 weeks, and then had to go home, come back during the fall and pledge 6 months. I couldn't do it. I had to, so I was scheduled to go online, had a 3.0. No, I had a 3.0. I had 2. I made the honor roll. It was based on art classes and shit. I get these A's because they couldn't teach me because I was so good. So I was getting the shit through art. But anyway, I had all this big honor roll shit, dean's list. So anyway, I was getting ready to jump online, and it was in the spring of the year. I was already a junior in the spring of the year, and they was talking about 6 months. I'm like, shit. That means my whole freshman, my whole senior year, I'm going to be pledging. And so I had to get the hell out the way because, I would have been pledging. I said, well, the 6 months 6 weeks would be fine, on and off. But 6 months, I'm like, shit, I'd be having somebody goddamn beat my ass in my senior year. So I had to jump off the whole thing. But this brother here, they held down the fort, and this brother's legendary and stuff, because if you went to Benedict College and stuff, these niggas did all that Animal House shit you see on them movies. That's the kind of shit we engaged in That shit is real. Am I bullshitting you? He can bear witness to that. And by them being the Kappas and supposed to be the lover boys and shit, there's some real grotesque shit that went down. You see what I'm saying? So we had another group called the Honeycomb Boys and stuff, and we had a party. We had a party that broke in the floor of my house, the front living room floor. The niggas broke the floor in. Floor sunk in. So I'm telling you that some of that shit, all that stuff was legend. That's why I look at people, they say, oh, you went to college. I'm like, well, shit, that you might well say you went to prison and shit, because the shit that go on the college campus is much more treacherous than what go on in the prison. I mean, all kind of crazy stuff. And the white boy shit is even worse than black people shit. You see what I'm saying? I mean, some real crazy stuff. So it's some that Animal House stuff went down. So anyway, I'm saying that now. This brother's here and all, and the brother, I saw the brother. I said, damn. I said, you should have brought a picture of your queen. So we got the queen on that, and she was, like that even better. We got her, giving her the shout out and all. You know what I'm saying and all, and she might, do something extra for the brother. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the deal. Show him a new trick or some shit that, or some kind of thing, and all this kind of thing here and all. But I found out that basically, that's the best thing to do. If you praise them, you get away with a lot. You get a lot further, spiritually too. So in so many words, what I started doing was, and see, this was you got to change up the dynamics. What I started doing is I started buying all the clothes for my girl. So I started shopping. So you got to change up the dynamics. Instead of you sitting around going, God damn it, she up in the place shopping. The motherfucker, you start picking out the shit. And you get into the process, you won't be sitting around here all bored out your mind. And stuff like that. No, you see what I'm saying? Hell, I bought that fucking dress she got on there and the Egyptian necklace. So the concept here is, and she said, why are you doing all this? I said, that's a part of the worship of the goddess. You are the representative of the goddess in the physical. And that's a part of the worship of the goddess. You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of energy to change up the dynamics, and then you won't have no fucking problems and stuff. And not necessarily saying that you're trying to do this because male and female are supposed to have problems, because we don't. But I'm trying to talk about when it comes to the spirit realm. You're going to have to look at this thing as another aspect. Your woman, in so many words, is your oasis. She is the god or the goddess that you're supposed to be dealing with, as well as the man is supposed to be the same thing. That's supposed to be the God. If you took the focus off of this motherfucking spook being out in the cosmos that don't even know that your ass is alive, and focus it on your woman or your man, if you're a woman, you see what I'm saying? You would be able to polarize the energy, and we'd be able to run shit. And we can have this kingdom come back. And Farrakhan was like, yeah, the one guy I was talking to, his woman was God to him. That is crazy. I'm like, wait a minute, you out your fucking mind? They're showing you in Iraq that Allah is an absentee landlord. Because they're killing babies, children, and everything. And who is more obedient to Allah than a damn Muslim? And Muslim is getting their head knocked off left and right. So to let you know that's an absentee landlord. That is a concept that was put there for a later race of people, which model was the original black man and black woman, even in the physical. That's the whole concept when they said, but I'll go back to Ethiopia where the man is never wrong. What is the concept of man never being wrong? That means he's God. And the concept of Allah was talking about the ancient black man and the ancient black woman. You see what I'm saying? So you're taking the energy off of what it's supposed to be directed to, as far as you all bouncing off each other as gods and goddesses, and putting it on some motherfucker in the air, being shared with all the enemies that's coming to kill your ass. You see the concept here? So this is what's going on at this particular time. We got to focus on that. So that's one reason why we tapped in. And I would have thought about it. If I'd have thought about it, I told them to bring a bigger picture of the sister. You see what I'm saying? And all, like that. So this is the type of stuff that we're dealing with at this particular time. Like I said, the whole dynamics has changed since she's come down to Atlanta. I mean, it's like people actually come into a better relationship with me just to come in contact with her energy. As far as Babylonia or Linda, to come in her energy, which is interesting to show you what we're dealing with on this particular spiritual level. Her mother is 76 years old. Now, before when I went to D.C. and rescued her, because she got a fine-ass sister, too, the one that just turned 40. And went to D.C. to rescue her, and we stopped by the mother's house so I could meet the mother before we flew out. And the mother came out, and you could tell the mother was a motherfucking smoker in her day. You know what I'm saying? And shit, you could tell that you could tell, she's 76, so she's 76, but you can look in a motherfucker, okay, yeah, I can see that you used to goddamn knock some socks off in your day. So we talked and all this type stuff. And over the course of the months and stuff, they talk every night, and her thing is she would say, all this shit is just too much. It's just too much, all this shit that's going on. So I start saying in the background, it's just too much. And she started hollering, it's just too much. And so we start going off, and Linda's like, y'all motherfuckers is going crazy over this shit. Every day on the phone, I'm hollering, just too much. It's just too much. And her mama going, it's just too much. It's just too much. So Linda is like, y'all done took this shit to another level. Okay, to show you, so we're dealing with people in the spirit world to show you that the way this spirit realm runs is infinite possibilities. And your mind has to be open. And so, just past September, I think it was the end of September, the 1st of October, she called and said, I want to ask Bobby a question about something. And I'm like, oh man. So she got on the phone, she started asking me a question. I asked her, why did you ask me this question? She said, because you know. I'm like, man. We didn't just really discuss what I'm into or whatever the deal here is. And when she started talking, I felt this woman in her 30s talking to me. I was like, oh shit, I kind of put the phone on like this, got kind of comfortable and shit, like, And I told her, I said, we rapping. Motherfucker, we rapping. Yeah. And I tell her, Lynn, I said, well, we rapping and shit. And she was talking, and I said, you sound like somebody in your 30s. She said, well, I'm far from 30 and stuff. And when I got off the phone, I said, wait a minute, hold on, some shit is going on. I said, grab the tarot cards and let's get the spirit realm going, and let's see where this shit is going. And I said, no, this is something different. And I said, and so I asked, I said, was this woman one of my wives or my consorts in the ancient world? And they said, yes. I said, yeah, I knew it. And that's what just too much was like a mating call, was coming back. And so I got back on the phone with her, and we started talking. We talked for about an hour, and I started just breaking down stuff. And I said, she's on my feet. My legs are hurting. And I said, well, they're going to be healed, in a couple of days. I said, you're going to be able to do what the hell you want to do and stuff. And so about a week later, they just started feeling better and stuff and started healing. And after a while, we call at night, and I start getting on the phone and start rapping to her. Now, this woman is a 7-day Adventist. She don't go to church now, because she's shut in so many words, because she don't get around and she's a 7-day Adventist and stuff, real religious. You see what I'm saying? Real religious and stuff. So the next day, one day she called, we talking on the phone and stuff. She said, oh yeah, they getting ready to put people in concentration camps. I said, wait, where you get that from? I said, you just know it? I just know it. She said, oh yeah, they got concentration camps all up and down. I said, Linda, your mama on here dropping about the damn concentration camps. So the next day, she called and stuff. Tell me about the Illuminati. So where you getting this shit from? Tell me about the Illuminati. Then they tell me about the New World Order. And what it was is her spirit was overriding her and getting back into the fold of things. Her soul was reconnected with a consort. You see what I'm saying? Did her number straight up Venus, Aphrodite, goddess of love, all that shit. She went to Howard back in the day. Dunbar High School was real big high school in D.C. Went to Howard, all this kind of thing. Straight up, babe. And, and all this type of stuff here and all. And so her spirit, she's communicating, and she starts to heal herself, and all types of things started happening. You see, all things started happening because ever since her and her husband parted, which he's still living, but ever since they parted, I think in the early 70s or whatever like this, she has been a woman that has been shut down. And how, and probably some of her ailments and stuff was based on that lost love. So this stuff started coming in the ancient stuff, so I'm just trying to say, and I said, damn, I got 2 fucking women now. Now one is not in the physical realm, because my connection with her mother is straight up soul realm. You see what I'm saying? And a acquaintance with this old this old love that we used to have, an ancient love, I want to put it that way. And then I had the daughter who was in a whole nother realm. But I'm just trying to say we're dealing with this today because we're trying to show that this realm we're talking about is infinite possibilities, and you're going to have to break out of anything of what you think is conventional, especially the sisters. When it comes to looking and the way you view love and different things like that, whether you're running or whether you feel not satisfied, you got to start looking at another paradigm. Everything is not supposed to be in a box on how you're supposed to go about certain things or be fulfilled. Some of this stuff is non-physical, but it's just as spiritual, which I will get into in a few minutes also. Y'all all right? So these are some things that's actually going down. That's actually going down on this realm, because we are in this particular aspect of teaching. Now, how do you want to do this? You want